Disky Times, now available in stores around the country for only R3.50.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. Belouizdad 1, Mamelodi Sundowns 5 in the CAF Champions League group stage match. Second group stage match for both teams. Mamelodi Sundowns scored 2 in the first one, 5 in this one, +7 goal difference, and they lead the group by 6 points now, or they have 6 points in the group. Duku Duku Makhanya is always our guest as well here. Duku Duku, very decent game, lovely game of football, very good game of football for Mamelodi Sundowns, emphatic 5 goals. Otherwise, how did you see the game?
Yeah, no, thanks very much. My viewers, support iDiskiTV. Amachita, yeah. So, we have to commend the approach of Sundowns. We have to commend the way they do things. We still have an identity because of Sundowns. They're still holding on to the identity. Maboe game, about 5 goals, critical phases of the game. First 15 minutes, 3 minutes, Sundowns a goal, red card, change approach. Towards half-time, the other team equalized critical phase. Yeah. First few minutes of the second half, yabuya late Sundowns yakora futhi. So majority of goals are critical phases. So it tells you what sometimes you need to respect critical phases. Yeah. It changes the complexion, it changes how you plan, the ways of corner, the way you approach the changing corner. Once you concede critical phases, then mindset automatically change. You can't really stick to a plan levels, it means you have to change. But what I loved about both teams that they never changed the identity. They kept on passing the ball, Bafuna. So it was a nice game to watch.
Yeah. Let's have a look at maybe the red card incident. Number one, how it happened. There's always controversy about double jeopardy, where you're awarding a penalty plus you're giving out a red card as well. What did you make of that incident? When obviously we saw what we saw. The player stopped a certain goal. It was going in, and he changed himself to become a goalkeeper. He handled the ball. Do you agree with the referees that it should have been a red card plus a penalty?
Yeah, it should have been a red card plus a penalty because of imagine if ever he stopped then it resulted into a penalty, and a penalty from Lapo keeper save. It means he has saved the team. Yes, so automatically they had to forfeit that player that caused the whole situation. Yeah. In terms of against handball, automatically keeper was well beaten. So it meant the player or a penalty he had also to go because of imagine if about a penalty then Bangamupi red card is a Sundowns he missed a penalty. Yeah. Then it meant he did a good job. So but because of he had to be penalized twice. It was a penalty, and plus it was a clear scoring opportunity for them.
All right, inspired by Luis Suarez and Arthur Zwane as well. If you've seen Luis Suarez and you've seen Arthur Zwane doing that against Santos in the Coca-Cola Cup, you would know what we're talking about if you didn't see the incident as well. Mamelodi Sundowns, I think there are questions to be asked. They did well. Absolutely, yeah. Almost no weaknesses. But there are questions to be asked about how far they take this wing-back thing. Because no problem with wing-backs. That's how it's played. And most teams play with wing-backs. But when you see Ulake on the corner flag of the opposition most of the time, and you see the same thing with Morena on the corner flag of the opposition most of the time, you do wonder if there could be cover. And they scored through that weakness as well. Would you change the way, because they scored 5 goals, would you change the way Sundowns play? Because they haven't lost even in our league as well. Would you change that approach on my wing backs, or would you tweak it and implement some sort of a discipline as well?
Yeah, I think rightfully so. We have to tweak it and implement some sort of a discipline whereby whenever you see both wing backs are very obvious, they can't go simultaneously. So it means if you're Morena Hamba, it means abashiftele to cover the space umurena asishile. If ever same as umurena maka ulaki makahambile shift across ukuthi cover le space abasishile, so then at least you implement some sort of discipline ngoba it does work ngoba if ever you playing with inverted wingers whereby everybody is tagged in, then you allow the space ukuthi whenever we attack, then we are going to use a full back as a surprise ukuthi umuntu wokugcina lapha. So it boils down again for negative decision making ngoba the very same wing back makathatha leyo run, he should know ukuthi uzolithola ibhola or normal phethe akhona ukuthola abantu bakhe ngoba once they out of they lose possession, it becomes a problem ngoba at the end of the day the very same teams are adlala ngama wing backs, whenever they are on position most of the time kulaba kwi danger khona ngoba they've left ama spaces over. So it means as much as ufuna ukutilize ama wing backs ama full backs, then it means you've left ama gaps whereby ama opposition they can easily utilize. So it requires a lot of discipline, especially when you are on possession ngoba as much as you are on possession, you are vulnerable to being scored ngoba once you lose possession, the opposition they can automatically take advantage of lezo pieces shama wing backs.
And then Sundowns, I mean, off the ball movement, very good going forward. Let's talk about what you observed today. How did they play? How did they score the goals? You know, it was beautiful and it was clinical as well. And also, how do you deal with it as a defensive team?
Yeah, I think every time we emphasize we are from Goaga or Juna Kanyaguti, team I been a culture, I been identity, which is something what is announced over the years. We've seen it happening and they're still doing it. Whether by Puma by Africa, by they don't lose their identity. So more figure grounding by a pass and it's the best way to play football within pass and Tolan, and it goes in understanding. Telepathy, what he has in Lomaga movie, like milling in pass technique, it has to be good. So that man running out, it's out of this well. So I think Sundowns the way badlala ngakhona emphasis you can see from I think Lento Pizza ishile still that's still trying to continue with the very same identity. This is how we do things ngoba mawubheka build up they might look slow, but njalo all the time kuba nayo that mean running. There's always someone running. There's always somebody to pass again, which is easier is the most easiest way to play football. By the end of it, you need to see your teammates around, and all the time go Sundowns, there's always that option. So instead Shafuti, players are short, which is a characteristic of South Africans. We are not big and strong, so it means we need to find each other in terms of ball. So meaning as move better, Sambisi ball better, which is something is announced that they do very well.
Yeah. How do you deal with that then? Because that's the other curious thing, Ogoti, the way that they're playing it sometimes appears as though you are helpless. You are just waiting for the moment where they will score a goal. How do you deal with this situation as a defensive team? Do you man mark? Do you mark spaces? What is the best way to deal with it if you're a defensive team?
If you can match the quality, it means you played on a reinforced defense. You apply at least a pressure a low in terms of marking. So it means you allow them. Once you go man on man, then it becomes a problem. It's difficult to pick umuntu or move out without angaphetha ball. So so in Tekmelo yenza ukuthi you reinforce the defense yakho and make sure ukuthi you ubabamba ngama breaks ngoba that's where you can really catch them ngoba if ever you don't have that quality, you can't really match up with that style of play.
All right, last one then. I think there is a question to be asked about the role of Andile Jali. Number one, Rivaldo Coetzee is playing midfield and then is reinforcing defensively. He's a number 6 typically. What Ricardo Nascimento is doing behind him, passing, finding people, unlocking defenses through his long passing. Rivaldo cannot do that, seemingly. His passes are sideways, Even though he looks like he's safe when he's there, but would you prefer him over Jali? How would you play that kind of a situation? Because we can say there's Jali, who seemingly is probably a better option.
Yeah, in terms of maybe the system that they are playing, I'll also maybe go for Jali. In terms of aggression, he has got the aggression, technical abilities, unayo, and he can a short pass, join attack, so he gives you a whole round middle field. He's a complete player. So maybe Rivaldo Coetzee, they are looking to a situation whenever umorena hambile, then no lucky maybe hambile, if they are both playing, then it means Rivaldo also slaughter in as a defender, baby 3 mover. So I think maybe that's the whole approach with me. But about Jali, what you get Jali is aggression, right. He's also quick, knock marker, and we are connecting an attack. So that's what you get. So maybe go Rivaldo Coetzee. It's a complete opposite in terms of Jali, but maybe in terms of a positional discipline, maybe mabahambile uyabuya ahlale lapha. Maybe that's why maybe they opt for him.
All right, there you go. That's Mamelodi Sundowns, Belouizdad 5-1. Emphatic, straightforward. Sundowns, well done. Red card from the 2nd minute. Someone trying to be Luis Suarez on the goal line. Well done to Mamelodi Sundowns. iDiskiTimes.co.za, iDiskiTV, and of course we also are on Facebook. WSB.co.za. Thank you very much for watching us.